Sorry about that. We're back after a little technical difficulties. But 2 outs here as Brady Bly now steps in as A.J. Lefton grounded out to first. So Bly having a very solid year, 327, 500 OBP, and 9 RBIs. He struggled at times offensively last year, but he's really stepped up in his senior season. The Charleston commit.
Yeah, Bly's been cold as of late, but ultimately one of the best contact hitters you're going to find in high school. Like you said, a batting average of 327. And he doesn't have a ton of power, no home runs on the year, but there was one that he'll tell you he got a hold of one just a few feet foul. That one happened in the home game in the regular season.
Now Bly will line that one out to left field. The play is made by Vaughn, and just like that, another 1-2-3 inning for the Comets. And I think we're in for a pitcher's duel here, Ben, as we'll take a break through 1.5, 0-0. We're back here in the bottom of the second. Still knotted up at 0. It's going to be the cleanup hitter, Tegan Williams, the third baseman, hitting .406 on the year, and his team leading 22 RBIs. Very solid hitter, stepping up.
We're going to take a look right now at how Mason is stacked up defensively. Got Anthony Sulik, a star shortstop, over on the left side of the infield with A.J. Lefton on the right side. The junior-sophomore duo and Nick Stroud and Jake Hanley at first. And you look at that outfield. Krukenberg in right, Kelly in left, and Kevin West, the star center fielder, Brady Bly on the backstop.
Good pitch there from Grula. And Williams behind on the fastball there, barely able to foul it off. So a 1-1, another lefty-righty matchup. And Grula's going to skip that one into the dirt. So it's now 2-1.
Grula works very efficiently. He only needed 78 pitches, to get that perfect game last Thursday against Western Brown. That's very impressive. Do that in 7 innings. Only 78 pitches.
And a beautiful breaking ball there from Grula, and Williams goes down swinging. So the third strikeout already for Grula.
And I think you were right, what were you saying before we head to the last break. I think it's going to be a pitcher's duel. And coming into the game, there's no surprise with Grula and Wink. And both these teams have struggled a bit at the plate as of late. Mason, though, got their bats going on Tuesday against Hamilton with 6 runs.
Yeah, and Garula he works very fast too, which is another thing is when he's in control, he doesn't like dance around and waste any time on the mound. He just goes right at it, and his numbers against Western Brown were just just crazy. Like just MLB The Show numbers. It's like me playing my sister, and I throw like 40 pitches, and she strikes out every time.
I think Paige Amazon could be able to get a hold of one against you in the show. Maybe put one over the left field wall.
That's not true.
Maybe even at Polo Grounds.
At Polo Grounds, I don't think anyone hits homers, Ben. And 2-1. That's in there for a strike. And I want to give a shout out to Mark Amazon. He requested for one. He's watching all the way in Indianapolis. So, Mark, hope you're doing well, man.
Mark is a what our supervisor Dale Conn likes to say, a friend of the program.
Yeah,
gives us a lot of support.
I've got to know him pretty well over the last couple of years, and he's a pretty cool guy to work with.
Yeah. I think he even called a game with him basketball season. Am I right?
Yep, against Sycamore. That was a fun one.
Yep.
He's a solid guy. Yeah. I don't really know much else about him, though. That's about it.
No. Yeah. I just know him through Mason Sports Radio.
And Gruel again. Another strike. So he's already struck out 4 out of the first 5 hitters. Now this is Austin Ambergy, the first baseman. Only hitting 190, but does walk a lot with that 304 OBP.
Yeah, guys like that are always interesting. You look in the MLB, you look at guys like Yasmani Grandal with a very solid OPS, just not a big batting average, just changes the approach. And that approach often changes depending on where you are in the lineup and what your team needs at the time.
And West has to race back, and a beautiful catch over the shoulder, just like Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Man. What a play by Kevin West.
We looked at the defense. We looked at the defensive start of the inning. I caught him star center fielder, and he's proven it right there. Kevin West getting it done. Back at Princeton High School for the top of the third, Kevin West ended the second inning with a beautiful over-the-head catch. We'll see what he can do leading off this inning at the plate. And we'll take a look at the kind of season the Comets have had so far. 22-4, their best win coming in Columbus against Walsh Jesuit. Their worst loss, though, coming at Middletown. 7-4, that one. Noah Samuel gave up a grand slam. That was their lone GMC loss. When you talk about key players, you can't overlook Brendan Garula. He's on the mound today. He's also hitting. Started the game with a leadoff walk as West laced one down the line, just foul. That's just a long strike.
Wes is a guy who's he's very improved this year offensively. Like we touched on his great play defensively, but he really struggled last year at the plate. He got DH for sometimes, just played center field, and now he's hitting 261 with 10 RBIs, and he's really improved throughout the year.
He spent some of the season in the leadoff spot as well, so that just kind of shows the versatility he has. Swings at strike number 2. Counts even now to lead off the third. That one's just a bit outside. Miamisburg fans thought it was a strike. But it'll run the count full. Swing on, strike number 3, and strikeout number 3 for Wink. That's the first out of the inning. Kevin West goes down swinging. And here comes Nick Stroud, second baseman for this Mason team. Isn't one of those consistent starters, but he makes his way in the lineup I'd say about every other game.
Yeah, only 188 on the year, but a 298 OBP, and he's struggled a little bit more recently. Got off to a hot start at the beginning of the year. And he's kind of a fan favorite too. My colleague Zach, who I work with, he does the scoreboard. I do the PA. He talks about Nick Stroud a lot. He's a big fan of his game, and I'm sure he's glad he's getting the spot in the starting lineup tonight.
Yep. Shout out to Zach for that one. As 0-2 count, he's down early. This is a big out for Wink. With only one out, you turn it over to the top of the lineup and a few dangerous hitters like Garula and Hanley. And that one's outside for ball 1.
Really tough spot for Stroud here. Oh.
And he laces that one for a base hit. Nick Stroud. 1 out knock. And we turn the lineup over to Brendan Garula. First base hit for the Comets, first base hit for any team tonight.
Wow, very impressive. Down 1-2, the number 9 hole hitter, Stroud. Just solid contact out in the left field, like first hit of the game for either team. And Zach must have seen something. I mean, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew what was up with Stroud.
I'm sure. Zach's laughing at us all now. And here's Garula. His first plate appearance tonight, he walked, and he swings at strike 1.
And it's a good spot for the Comets, especially when you get that number 9 hole hitter up. You got the heart of the order now with only 1 out, so a chance to do some damage here.
And Garula's going to foul that one back. He's down to the count early, 0-2.
The Wink is so good at getting ahead of the count. Seems like every single time. Pitcher on pitcher here.
Especially against an offense like Mason's. 0-2. Swung on and missed. Brendan Garula down swinging. The 4th strikeout of the night for Wink. There's 2 outs in the inning now. Strikeout on 3 pitches. Here comes Krukenberg. He was the victim of a strike of Wink's first strikeout in the first inning. We'll see what he can do with 2 out, 1 on. Looks at ball 1.
Another guy who's had a kind of a breakout year for the Comets, as we touched on before. Had amazing numbers in JV last year, and translating pretty well to some varsity ball.
He's got a 1-1 count. He's going to foul that one back. And just like you mentioned earlier, Wink getting ahead in the count. It's 1-2 now. It seems like every hitter, every at-bat. You know, your approach has to change completely when you got 2 strikes on you, and that just makes hitters less effective. With 2 outs and 1 on, The 1-2 swung on and missed the second strikeout of the day for Krukenberg. And Wink is through 3 without giving up anything. Only 1 hit and 1 walk. Still deadlocked at 0, heading to the bottom of the 3rd. We'll open up the bottom of the 3rd. Brendan Garula goes back to work. And we take a look at what kind of season this Miamisburg Vikings team has had. Their best win coming over Centerville. Centerville, the 2 seed in Dayton. A score of 2-1, but they fell to sub-500 team Fairmont. And we talked about Garula tonight. We talked about Wink, and that's their key player. Blaine Wink, .455 batting average.
This guy at the plate, Brock Vaughn, a solid hitter. Hitting .304, .389 OBP, 10 RBIs. A pretty good guy to have at the bottom of the order, but maybe slotted there because that lefty-lefty matchup.
Yeah, Miamisburg's a very righty-heavy lineup, so you get someone like Vaughn, you're going to send him down a little bit. He's got a 2-2 count on him. Or 1-2, excuse me. The 1-2's fouled back off the net. I don't know if we can call that a net. I think that's kind of like that's more of a fence that kind of has the look of a net.
Yeah, I think it's like a cage maybe.
Cage, yeah. I think we'll call it that. Still 1-2 on Vaughn, and he swings on and misses. That's strikeout number 5 tonight for Garula. 5 strikeouts for each pitcher in this matchup. That'll bring up Braylon Masters.
And Garula's just dominant against righties, but against lefties, it's even more intensified. And just another strikeout there. And only two of the outs haven't been strikeouts so far for Garula.
It's a 1-0 count now. Masters, that's Garula's first time looking at the bottom of the lineup. Masters fouls that one back up into the cage.
Yeah, the cage,
new term,
right?
cage, yeah.
Not the net. Yeah, interesting.
Very nice facilities here at Princeton High School. This press box is the best I've been in terms of high school baseball.
I'd have to agree, except for the Dayton Dragons.
Well, yeah, I kind of kept it
year,
high school baseball
Mason
facilities, but yeah,
Yeah.
last year's regional semifinals.
Another thing I like about Princeton is the logo they have on their school. It like lights up at night.
Yeah.
Red and yellow. It's
Newly renovated
nice.
school. It's nice.
Yeah.
Everything looks nice. Basketball arena's nice. It's 2-2 now on Masters, and that one's way inside. Almost hit him.
They also share their name with Miamisburg.
Yeah.
Both the Vikings.
You know, there's no home field advantage, but I think people might get confused. They look at Vikings around all the branding and think that's Miamisburg.
And they're the home team in this game. They're
And-
the only thing difference. The colors, the blue, and the
Well,
red.
yeah, I was going to say, if you're like me, then you might know any difference.
For you, it looks the same since you're colorblind, man. Like, I mean, you're probably like what color jerseys? Like what color do you think Miamisburg is?
Green.
No, sorry.
Oh, man.
Close.
Now, I know Miamisburg is blue. We've had this conversation going into this game. Full count now on Masters. And Masters is going to swing. This will be a long run for West. And right field, it's going to be safe. I think that was Krukenberg who was on the run. He slipped. So first base will be awarded to Masters. Not sure. I think they're going to have to award that a hit.
Yeah, let's see what they do. It'll be
That's interesting. I think that play would have been made, so it's hard to give him a hit, but you can't really give him an error for slip.
because air, usually the player has to touch, they get to make contact with the ball and then drop it for it to be air. Yep, and they're going to call it a hit. So there's the perfect game and no-hitter from Garula. Now, 9-hole hitter, Preston Barr's up. Also a solid guy in the bottom of the lineup, 291, 310 OBP, 9 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. So, I mean, this lineup just doesn't really have a ton of weak spots, but I mean, Garula's made it look pretty easy so far. So the only two people to get hits this game are the 8-hole hitter for Miamisburg and the 9-hole hitter for the Comets. So.
Yeah. And they caught Masters heading to second, but that one gets away. That'll head into the outfield. Masters will take third base, Lefton. That gets away from Lefton. But what a brilliant job from Brendan Garula being there for backup. That could have been dangerous if Garula was still on the mound. If Brendan Garula doesn't get behind third base on that one, Miamisburg's up 1-0.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, it's unfortunate for the Comets. It looked like it was going to be a play that turned into something good. We saw that against Lakota East, actually, when the Comets got a guy in the rundown and they dropped it at third base, and Lakota East was able to score, but luckily the Comets were able to claw back and win that game. But yeah, and especially in a game like this where runs mean so much in a pitcher's duel. So for Masters to be able to advance 2 bases and now a sac fly can give the Vikings a lead, puts Comets in a pretty dangerous position here.
And the defense, the infield met at the pitcher's mound, kind of get their heads together. Coach Kerply always preaches free 90s. You can't give up any free 90s. That's like an error or walk, and they got a free 180 on that one.
Yeah, that's good math, Ben.
Thank you. 1-1 count now. A totally different approach here for Barr with a runner on third and 1 out. And Barr swings at strike number 2.
Yeah, Hanley and Lefton on the corners are playing pretty far in, right up against the grass. Which means they're probably going to throw home on weak contact.
A 1-2 count now. A strikeout will be huge, and Garula gets it. Fouled into the mitt of Bly. Second out of the inning. That neutralizes a chance of a sac fly. Huge strikeout for Garula.
Yeah, it's the 6th strikeout for Garula. We're not even done with the 3rd inning yet, but here's Bordelwine, the leadoff hitter, and he struck out the first time with a chance now with a runner on third to potentially take the lead.
First pitch to Bordelwine on the outside corner, check swing. They say he went.
I've seen a lot of check swings from these Miamisburg hitters. Just shows how just the movement on Garula's pitches are phenomenal.
And they're a little timid against Garula, too, not making up their minds. Bordelwine fouls one off and immediately down to the count 0-2. Talk about Wink, his ability to get ahead in the count, but Garula's is no different.
Yeah, almost like 2 very similar pitchers. I mean, Garula relies on his breaking stuff a little more than Wink. Wink's more of a velocity guy, just throw it right by you, but different approaches, but same execution for both of them so far.
The 0-2. That one's fouled back into the cage.
And Bordelwine just kind of like just tossing his bat out there, just trying to make contact with the ball. Good sign for Garula. Really trying to protect here down 0-2.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to continue to say net. I know it's not quite a net, but I think new viewers are going to be confused when I say fouled back into the cage. That one gets away from Bly. He's able to stay in front of it.
I don't know if we'll have new viewers, Ben, because I feel everyone will always watches the whole game on all of our broadcasts. Right?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's always what happens.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, how could you, like, turn us on and then listen to us talk and then, like, leave? Like,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
How could you not listen to Evan Amazon and Ben Howard broadcasting baseball?
You get a pitcher's duel, too? Yeah.
I mean, this is just –
that's the place to be. If you're not at this game, you want to be watching it. Swing, strike 3, no swing needed. Brendan Garula gets his 6th strikeout of the game, gets it looking, and gets it with a runner 90 feet away. Comets head to the 4th inning, still tied 0-0 here at Princeton High School.
All right, we are live here in the top of the 4th from Princeton High School. We've got the beautiful I-75 in the background. Just a beautiful sight for some baseball, and counts 1-0 right now as Hanley ahead of Wink.
It's the second time seeing this Mason Comet lineup, see if anything changes in terms of approach for Wink or for any of the Mason hitters, but he's worked very efficiently through the 4th inning now. And here's Hanley, a power hitter, but Hanley's really a great combination of power and contact at the plate.
And Hanley will line that one back. Man. Wow. Kind of crushed that just a little bit. Just a little bit late there. It's tough to see from our angle, but good contact. That's one Hanley's going to want back just because he hit the ball square just a little late on his timing, and it hit hard, just goes out of play near left field. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's going to be grounded up the middle, so Jake Hanley getting the Comets started, just doing what he's been doing all season long, and just solid contact there. The Comets will take it.
Well, those last 2 pitches are a great example of what I was talking about, the combination of power and contact. Hanley got a hold of one. It went pretty far. It didn't make great contact on it either, but that one didn't really have a chance to drive it anywhere, just put his bat to it and put it right where the defenders weren't, right up the middle.
Just got to put it in play. I mean, that's what you have to do against good pitchers. Just put it in play, see what happens as Murphy will put this one in play. Actually out of play. It looked like it was going to be in play. Fortunate there.
I think Protham Peary was trying to make a play out there over the fence.
Yeah, I don't. He should have brought his glove to the game.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know if he'd catch that barehanded. I'm not sure he'd catch it with his
glove either. Yeah.
Considering we've played him in basketball, and I'll just say I'm not sure if he's the greatest athlete, but
well, I'll just say he had.
I don't know.
According to his team, he had a suspicious injury come up in the playoffs, so that's all.
Yeah. Yep. He actually did make a 3 one time, I think.
Yeah,
It was
one
it's
time
kind of
maybe.
a miracle. Yeah. It's kind of an interesting field dimension though. Just kind of curves in, curves out a little bit, and it's gonna be a little tough for these players to get used to the foul ground here at Princeton High School.
Yeah, it's very, like we said, a very nice facility. Everything's clean, updated, a very new press box.
So now it's 0-2 here to Murphy. And this would be huge if Michael Murphy can find a way to get on here. Probably the Comets' best hitter all year long. Best power hitter, RBI guy. And RBI number 30 would be pretty big here. But just trying to get on base, 0-2, and he'll line that one. Short fly ball into center field, and that's going to drop. Perfectly placed by Michael Murphy in the little triangle between the second baseman, shortstop, and center field into no man's land. And, man, just putting the bat to the ball, just getting contact, and it's worked for the Comets twice.
Yeah, that was another pitch where it was going to be a strike, but it really wasn't anything Murphy could have got a hold of. And just another piece of really good hitting, putting it where the fielders aren't. And that's what you got in Hanley and Murphy. Both guys have a few home runs each on the season, but both making great contact as well. Comets are in business now.
Yeah, that's why those guys have averages above 360.
Oh, what a beauty.
But Alex Kelling, wow.
That's about as perfect of a bunt you're going to see right down the line. And this Mason team, they work on bunting a lot in practice. They work on a lot of situations, a lot of small ball. Because in a pitcher's duel, a lot of times that small ball is what wins you the game. And just making plays like that.
Yeah, Alex Kelling. Wow, yeah, it's just exactly. It's just doing the little things. Just a ground ball up the middle, a bloop single, and a bunt. And just like that, you got the bases loaded. Not anything super.
And here's a big senior moment for A.J. Lefton in the 6th spot. And it'll be 3 straight seniors that they're going to see in Lefton, Blythe, and West.
A 1-1. Lefton a little behind on that one.
These 3 could have a big say, and if this is the last game in their careers or not.
He grounded out to first base his first time up, and that might not be the worst thing in the world if the Comets, if he does it again, if the Comets could get a run on that. That looks like a pretty decent pitch on 1-2, so a little bit of a gutsy take there from Lefton, but pays off. Always tough to lay off on pitches with 2 strikes, so now 2-2. Here's the pitcher. Lefton's able to line that one into right field, and the Mason Comets will take the lead 1-0. Oh, but Kelling a little bit aggressive on the base paths, so he'll get thrown out, diving back into second, but the Comets will take a run there.
And Bly is not happy with Kelling. That's just kind of one of those run killers, but Mason, use a small ball to get their first run. Nothing crazy, no extra base hits on the game yet for the Comets. Just some nice liners in the shallow outfield. But that Kelling getting picked off is a killer. They could have kept their run going big time.
Yeah, just a little unnecessary, too, with Murphy over at third. I mean, you're unable to even advance a base. But A.J. Lefton now his 7th RBI in the year, so now runners in the corners, 1 out. For Bly, the catcher, who we mentioned, has done a pretty good job contact-wise, so let's see if he can keep this streak going.
And Lefton's been very hot lately. Earlier in the season, he struggled a little bit, didn't have the highest batting average, but he's got it up to 277 now. Behind guys like Murphy, Garula, and Hanley, he is a guy that the Comets won up at the plate in situations like that, and that paid off perfectly.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Bly will foul that one back. Fastball down the middle there, just a tad bit behind.
We always talk about the special season that this Mason pitching staff is having, and a lot of that you got to give credit to the man at the plate right now, Brady Bly. If you ask Noah Sandler, Brendan Garula, they'll give a lot of credit to Bly on what kind of season they're having. The University of Charleston commit. He'll be joining Chase Popwell, another Comet down in West Virginia. That's the University of Charleston in West Virginia, not the one in South Carolina.
I always drive by the football stadium.
Yeah.
We usually go to Outer Banks sometimes in the summer.
Okay.
It's right off the highway. It's a nice site, man. It's a cool town.
Yeah.
Good college town.
They're a very good baseball program as well, one of the tops in the country in Division II.
It's now 2-2 to Bly. He'll line that one into left center. And that's going to get down for a base hit. So an RBI for Brady Bly. And another run as Michael Murphy crosses the plate. And the Comets lead 2-0. And now Wink, who hasn't given up an earned run all year, has now given up 2 in the same inning to the Mason Comets.
Well, what did I say about these seniors in these moments, stepping up big time? Sometimes you might have more talented juniors or sophomores, underclassmen, but the seniors are just going to want it more. They don't want this to be their last games in the Comet uniform. And you're playing against a very good pitcher in Blaine Wink. And now you got to keep this run going and also hope that Garula can just do his job on the mound.
I'll pop-up bunt there from Kevin West. Trying to lay one down like Kelling, but just got kind of under that one there. And I think Bly over at second got a pinch runner.
All players can be re-entered once in Division
And a
I.
wild pitch. And another run for the Comets as a slide by A.J. Lefton. So small ball working out great here. Just some bloop singles, some bunts, wild pitches, just really just taking what the defense gives you.
And not only does that get a run in, that gets a runner 90 feet away at third base. And only one out, so that sacrifice fly does come into play. And the Vikings win a mound meeting. Comets offense getting to them early. Only the 4th inning.
Yeah, and Wink was, I mean, he was dominant the first 3 innings. So it's just crazy to see, like, the collapse. I mean, so sometimes it's just one hit. I mean, we mentioned earlier in the game, I mean, here's a guy that hasn't gotten to, like, any trouble all year long. I mean, he doesn't allow people on base. He has not given up an earned run. So once the Comets apply a little pressure with some bloop singles, starts to get a little nervous on the mound, and it just works in the Comets' favor.
Still one out in the inning on West. And West swings at a high fastball, strike number 2. That's strike 1, excuse me. Or no, that is strike 2, yeah. That wild pitch was the first ball. I think it's 0-2. I think he swung at that wild pitch.
Said 2 strikes, and West goes down swinging. So Wink with a much-needed out for the Vikings. So now 2 down. And it will be Nick Stroud, who got the Comets' first hit.
Last inning, yeah.
A single the opposite way into right field. The Comets would love that again to try to extend the lead to 4. See if Stroud can take that same approach here. He'll line that one back out of play.
Yep, Coach Bly always talks about their goal every game is 6-7 runs, but he feels with the pitching staff that he has, a lot of times 3, 4, 5 runs is enough, and they're at 3 right now. That extra 1 or 2 could be huge.
That's a ball in the dirt. It's a 9-hole hitter, Stroud.
Stroud's 1 for 1 tonight. His first at-bat was that single that you mentioned.
Here's the pitch from Wink. Stroud will get that one in between the shortstop and third baseman. So Nick Stroud hitting the ball all over the diamond tonight. His first hit into right center. Now he grounds it into left center. The Comets doing a great job just making contact. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, have a night, Nick Stroud. He gets the hitting started for Mason last inning. That kind of got to Wink a little bit, maybe got in his head. And then it really opened up this inning, and Stroud getting another one in. They're going to pinch run for him, it looks like. Casey Donor going to go out there.
I mean, again, just shout out Zach. He saw something in number 12, and he was dead on.
He wasn't wrong.
And Casey Donor will be the pinch runner. Sophomore for the Comets will be standing on first. I mentioned high school baseball, you're allowed a certain number of pinch runners, and the player can re-enter the game, unlike in the MLB.
Yep.
Now top of the order, Garula up. Donor has to dive back in to throw.
You got to
catcher Ennis not in time.
You got to think Garula is happy with his offensive performance. He can pitch and work with a little less pressure now.
And he barely makes contact there. Ennis coming out to field it, throws it on to first, so Miamisburg will retire the side, but not before the Comets put up 4 runs on the board. And we're heading into the bottom of the 4th. Be sure to stick with us for the rest of this one. We got some bottom of the 4th action here from Princeton High School. If you're just tuning in, the Comets put 4 runs on the board in the top of the inning. And now Brendan Garula trying to continue his dominant performance, only giving up 1 hit so far through 3 innings. And this is Arden Mitchell, the 2-hole hitter for the Vikings. Struck out his first time up. Oh, and Garula, a little out of control there. He hits Mitchell, so Miamisburg has not gotten many men on base so far, and now Mitchell will. And a little dangerous because now Wink coming up with his .455 average and 20 RBIs. I mean, he's not a guy you want to face, and so the heart of the order will be up for the Vikings, but Garula was able to get him to ground out his first time up.
Yeah, going into that at-bat where he hit him with a pitch, before that he had struck out 24 of his last 31 batters faced going into last game against Western Brown. That's all 31 batters he's faced in the playoffs.
I'd say that's solid.
Yeah, that's a decent number.
24 out of 31. That's a lot.
And that's just not that he retired. That's strikeouts alone. So only one of those got on base. You got the singles from Masters in the 3rd inning. And only 6 other balls that were put in play.
Yeah, Wink's going to call for time. Now step back into the box. Garula in a little bit of a hole here, down 2-0 to the number 3-hole hitter for the Vikings. And again, that's outside.
Wink's really got a chance to kind of make up for that big Comet inning in the top half.
I was just going to ask you, Ben. I wonder if he'd had the green light on 3-0, and he does there. And I think that was a ball, too, a breaking ball.
That was a 2-1 count, I believe. It's 2-2 now. But I think he had the green light on 2-1, if that's what you're asking.
All right, Ben, sure. And a strikeout from Wink, so he's 0 for 2. And it'd be better if you were a little more supportive, Ben, and less critical. We're not all perfect. Like
I
pretty
understand.
close. You make a lot of mistakes, but I try to ignore your mistakes, and you just amplify mine. And
I think it's
try to make me look bad.
I think it's the insecurities. I think any chance I can get to make you look bad.
Yeah, because I make one mistake a game. It's the one time I mess up, you
okay.
have to shout me out.
You're in for a big one later now.
You make 100 mistakes a game, so it's just kind of natural. I mean, the viewers know that Ben Haller's going to mess up sometimes, and it's just not as big of a deal.
It's like white noise, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's strikeout number 8 tonight for Brendan Garula. So make that 25 of the last 33 batters he faced with the hit by pitch and the strikeout.
And just continuing your math.
I'd like to say I've improved my math skills since I've joined the program.
Yeah, since last April when you when you got your hat tricks confused. You said
we don't need to talk about that broadcast.
So 5 goals, and you said 7/3 of a hat trick or something stupid. It was really dumb. And a steal, and not in time. So that's Arden Mitchell. It's his 7th stolen base on the year. And Gruel's a guy you can sometimes steal on just because he throws a lot of breaking balls. So if you can jump on one of those, you can usually always get in safely to second. Not a bad throw from Bly, though. So now runner in scoring position, 1 and 2, 1 out. To Tegan Williams, who's had a monster year, team leading 22 RBIs, 406 average. Here's the pitch, and that's lined out to right field. See if Puri's going to make another play.
Oh, no. A terrific decision. That was a great decision by Puri to just sit that one out and not try to make a play. Not get himself hurt over there.
I wonder if he's going to go get it. I mean, having a foul. If you get a foul ball from Tegan Williams, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean
he's a guy who's hitting 406, 438, 22 RBIs. I mean, he could be in the bigs one day, and that ball could be worth a lot.
You might have to send him a text, Evan, and just let him know. Or we'll send our runner, Gavin Minogue, down to go tell him to pick up that ball.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a good job, Gavin, getting me the water. That's much appreciated.
I heard you gave him a little tip too.
I offered to give him $1 back, and he said no. Evan, you can keep the dollar. So that's nice.
Wow,
You need
yeah.
to take my $1 delivery fee. He's a good friend.
That's
He's a good
terrific.
man, Gavin
That's
Minogue.
terrific, Mr. Minogue. 2-2 count now on Mitchell. Williams, excuse me.
And he gets Williams looking. So Williams 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging and 1 looking.
2 outs coming to the plate, number 12, Nathan Ennis.
Now it's going to be Nathan Ennis, the catcher.
That's strikeout number 9. So if we're at Great American Ballpark, 2 strikeouts away from getting our Free Roses pizza. But you and I got our Free Roses pizza last night at the Prasco Park.
We were chowing at Prasco,
Yep.
especially me. I had like 6. you only got a couple, man.
I was focused on the Xavier baseball game, so my focus was elsewhere. But I enjoyed some pizza as well.
I was more focused on the pizza and the Xavier baseball game.
They lost, unfortunately, so.
Dropped to the Creighton Blue Jays.
Yep.
Unfortunate, Ben. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We're still alive. Won this morning against Georgetown.
We all know Indiana is like the best college baseball team in the country.
They've struggled this year. Max Johnson up there, another Comet. Jake Hanley going up there as well, but I'm sure Jake Hanley will be able to turn that program around a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully we'll be broadcasting the games
Yeah.
down in B-Town together next year. It's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Go Hoosiers.
So
I think I heard a Go Bucks behind me. I'm just going to block that one out.
Yeah. Just pretend like we didn't hear that.
Yeah.
All I heard was Go Hoosiers.
Yep.
What's unfortunate is our I got stuck with kind of a bad roommate next year. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm not looking forward to rooming with this kid from high school that I don't like. So.
Okay. I'm sorry for you then.
And another strikeout. So Brendan Garula strikes out the side after allowing a hit. So just like that, another masterful inning. And we're going to take a break here. Comets up 4-0 through 4.
District finals here at Princeton High School. The Mason Comets are leading the Miamisburg Vikings by a score of 4-0. The winner of this one will go on to take the winner of Lebanon and Butler. That game will happen at Midland Baseball Complex next week on June 2nd at 5 o'clock. Comets are 9 outs away from taking that matchup.
Yeah, Butler 1 seed out of Dayton. Lebanon, the 11th seed, and they had a big upset. I believe it was against Elder, and a 1-0 win. They got a pitcher going to Louisville, so should be an interesting matchup there, and hopefully we'll see the Comets playing next Thursday, and if the score holds up, we will. I mean, 4-0, a pretty solid start so far. More than halfway through this game. Comets trying to add on, get some more runs on the board, and 2-0 hitter Sean Krukenberg will lead off. He's had a little bit of a rough day at the plate, but see if he can turn it around.
And there were a lot of Comets that were in on that run they had in the 4th inning, that rally. They scored 4 runs.
Krukenberg with a pair of strikeouts. See if we can turn it around here.
First pitch to the left, he's outside. Just caught the outside corner for strike 1. That was a questionable call, but consistent all night. Wink working now. Krukenberg fouls that one down the left field line. That one's way out of play.
We always talk about that with umps, like you said. I mean, you can't ask for like perfect every time. It's just consistent. I mean,
Yep.
A little bit on the outside, just
Nothing terrible yet tonight.
no, not at all. Very very well officiated game so far.
So 1-2 count now on Krukenberg. 1-2, another one that was in the dirt and bounces away. Luckily, no one on base. Krukenberg only a junior. Mostly played the corner outfield position this season. Counts even now on Krukenberg. Star football player as well. He swings it a high fastball, able to make some contact and foul it off.
Good football player, good baseball player, solid rec basketball player, but we were able to take down his team twice.
That was me.
Yeah, Gavin saying like he did all the work, but that's not really true.
I don't think that.
0 points.
Me and Ben are a lot better than Gavin. I think everyone knows that. I mean, Gavin's just kind of the 9th man off the bench. He'll play a couple minutes. Just kind of like the team manager, I'd say.
Krukenberg works a walk to lead off the inning. Another inning led off with a base runner for the Comets, and that brings up a dangerous hitter in Jake Hanley.
Now coming to the plate for the Comets, number 34, Jacob Hanley.
Hanley's 1 for 2 tonight. He got the rally started last inning with a leadoff single. Rounded to the second baseman in the first inning, his first time up.
That's interesting with now Barr on the mound instead of Wink. I mean, Wink's someone who works a ton of innings, and was probably expected to maybe go the distance or at least close to it. So Comets will have to adjust to Barr, righty arms, similar pitching style, high velocity guys, fastball heavy pitchers.
Barr's had some trouble finding the strike zone early.
Yeah, Barr on the year, only a sophomore, 37 innings pitched, 57 strikeouts, go along with a 2.06 ERA. So
They throw over to keep Krukenberg in check at first.
him and Wink are kind of their two main guys. Barr's actually pitched a lot more innings.
The 3-0 on outside and another walked this one in 4 pitches to Jake Hanley. And there's now 2 on. Comets are in business once again with no one out. And Michael Murphy coming up to the plate, RBI king for Mason.
The Comets, with a couple runs here, can almost put this game away. I mean, with the way that Brendan Grula has been on the mound. And what you like to see is, I mean, the Comets offense struggled the first game against Western Brown. Then they picked it up against Hamilton. And you like to see the offenses improving as you get farther into the tournament, building some momentum, hopefully into the regional semifinals next round. So we'd love to see it from this Comets offense. It's just resilient, and they just keep grinding, keep getting better.
Yeah, that offense is going to be huge moving forward. And those arms and Samuel and Garula are going to start seeing better offenses, as that one's fouled off, no play able to be made. And we see better offenses, you know, Garula and Samuel, if they make 1 or 2 mistakes, that can be deadly if you can't score any runs.
Yeah, I mean, a few walks, a couple bloops. I mean, we saw for the Comets what just a couple bloop singles did.
Yeah, nothing terrible on the night from Wink.
Yeah, he gave up a lot of weak contact. Just the Comets got a little lucky, but also just credit to them for putting the bat on the ball and just seeing what happens. I mean, that's kind of the MLB's gotten away from. I always talked about, like, you got those 3 outcome players, guys who either strike out, walk, or hit homers, like a Joey Gallo type of guy. But this Comets team, they just have guys who make contact and good averages, and that's really what you need to win championships here at the high school level. And another walk, Michael Murphy.
Yeah, so Barr has come in and walked. The bases loaded.
Comets using the money ball strategy.
Yeah. He gets on base. That's all you need. Get him on, get him over, get him in.
Yep.
That one was actually hit by pitch, not a walk, so just control issues from Barr. And we'll take a look at Hanley, who placed down that beautiful bunt last inning that loaded the bases.
Just some fresh baseballs there.
Talk things over with Barr.
Good conversation between Barr and the home plate umpire.
Now batting number 31, Alice.
Another one dealt to Kelling. It's now a 3-0 count. He's 1 ball away from walking a run in, and that's just the command issues we talked about with Barr. 3-0, finally able to find the strike zone for strike number 1. Still a hitter's count now on Kelling. We'll see what he can do, see if he can find a gap with the bases loaded. And he cannot find the strike zone. Barr walks a run in. Hanley will come, or Krukenberg will come around to score. Comets now up 5-0.
I mean, the Comets are just watching pitches go by, and it works. I mean, it's smart. I mean, there's not much to say. If Barr isn't throwing strikes, don't swing until he proves he can consistently. So the Comets are kind of coming in, the hitters, see what happened. The first couple guys getting on base, and then they just have come in with a take approach, not looking to swing, just making Barr prove that he can throw pitches over the plate first, and it's just working beautifully here. There's still 0 outs, 5-0. So I guess we were talking maybe a long pitcher's duel this game would be, but there's just one pitcher dueling against himself. It's Brendan Grula.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Wink. He had a terrific regular season coming into this game, and just a few pitches and just like some weak contact, like you mentioned. Comets just used small ball to their advantage and played it really well. There was a strike fired in there to Lefton.
I mean, velocity is not an issue with Barr. I mean, it's just control. I mean, he can throw it fast. I mean, you can throw it up there with anyone, but if you can't put the ball over the plate, then it doesn't matter if you throw 30 miles an hour or 90. I mean,
Yep. Lefton swings and a miss. Yeah, 2 good pitches
I mean,
from.
he has a fastball. The Comets have been late on his fastball when he throws strikes, but they just haven't had to swing at many of his pitches. So a lot of them have been out of the zone.
2 strikes now on Lefton. Lefton pops one up. That's out of play.
Oh, loud bang. This ball lands.
Left.
Top of the restrooms, maybe.
Yeah. Lefton was responsible for Mason's first run with an RBI single, bases loaded RBI single. Second time up with the bases loaded, see what he can do. He looks at ball number 2 high.
Yeah, probably maybe the biggest hit of the day, arguably, was A.J. Lefton. Just, when they say hitting is contagious, and he's the guy who got that first run in, got the run starting, and whoa.
That almost hit him, but it runs the count full instead.
That was 1-2. Wink was Barr was in a pretty good spot, but now it's a full count again.
Swung on and missed, strikeout. The first strikeout of the inning for Barr, the first out of the inning. Lefton goes down swinging. We'll see what Bly can do.
Number 9, Brady Bly.
Bly also offered an RBI single, an RBI double, that is, in the last inning. That one's just caught a piece of the outside corner. 1-1 count now. Brady Bly, son of Coach Kurt Bly. Earned his spot at the catcher position.
Yeah, good baseball family, but I don't really agree on their sports teams. I mean, the Browns and the Guardians, just not. Oh, unfortunate there, man. Very hard contact from Brady Bly, and that's no fault of Kelling over there on first base. Just. And you're going to have to live with that for the Comets. I mean, they've had some plays where they blooped some singles in that maybe shouldn't have been deserving hits, but that's one that definitely should have been a hit. So I guess it all evens out throughout the game.
Yep, and that's how the top of the 5th ends. We'll head to the bottom. Brendan Garula coming back on the mound. Comets lead 5-0. Bottom of the fifth, Garula back out on the bump for another inning of work. Comets lead 5-0 over the Miamisburg Vikings and are in line to head to the regional semifinals next week against the winner of Lebanon and Butler.
It looks like, it says Miamisburg has 0 hits on the board, so would they have ruled that ball to Krukenberg as an error officially? Because then that would keep Garula's perfect game intact.
Yeah, so we got confirmation from the press box that there was an error. So.
Oh yeah, there was a hit by pitch, so it would be a no-hitter, not a perfect game, but still very impressive.
So Garula has not a great diving play. That one gets away from Stroud, and I think the fact that Stroud had to dive, I think that one will go down as a hit. A leadoff hit for Ambergy.
Yeah, it's just slow contact there. And with the shift, Stroud was just a little bit out of position. But that was a good effort stopping the ball, just making sure Ambergy would stay at first. I guess you jinxed us, Ben. Yeah. Ben, I think you jinxed us, man.
I jinxed. I didn't say anything. I think that was you.
I think it's just like. You jinx everything, man. I mean, you've jinxed so many free throws in the basketball season, and
yeah, I got better with that throughout the year, though. There's that one. Going back to the wall. That's over the head of the right fielder. They're going to wave the runner around third. It's a double, and they're finally going to put the brakes on Ambergy. He goes back to third, but a double for Vaughn.
Yeah, it's Brock Vaughn. He mentioned with that 304 average guy who usually hits higher in this lineup, but got slotted down a few spots because that lefty-lefty matchup. But he didn't really care there. He just took advantage of it, lined it into right center, and now Brendan Garula kind of in his first jam of the day, other than that runner on third they had with 1 out at the beginning of the game. And Bly's going to come talk to him.
And Bly will have a meeting with the common infield. I don't know if they're discussing a pitching change at all.
I think the Comets got a guy thrown in the bullpen. He can't quite.
There seems to be no hurry out there.
Yeah, just kind of stretching out, just getting loose, but can't quite see the number from here.
Michael Murphy came in relief on Tuesday against Hamilton. Only pitched a few innings.
It might be him again.
Yep.
And he's a DH, so he's not in the field right now. And
well, especially with this game getting moved back 2 days, Murphy's definitely a little more fresh. On Tuesday,
yep.
He didn't make a start, but it would be 3 days of rest for him. But Garula's still in the jam, second and third with no outs. That one's skied. That'll go out of play. Oh, 2 count now on Masters. And that one on the outside corner, strike number 3. Masters is sat down. Strikeout number 11 on the night for Garula.
Free pizza, Ben.
Yep, free pizza.
Ben's. You can just use Ben's credit card and you can get all the free pizza you want.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm willing to agree to that.
His credit card number is 6. So.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So that's
your local Roses. Use a credit card number 6. They're going to have another meeting with Garula now.
So Ben, we know you're a big broadcaster, but like, Did your singing career in your past kind of lead you into broadcasting, like the singing to talking thing? Like I know you're Beef It Up with B song's kind of a fan favorite. And your other ones you made in middle school, did that translate, like your singing, like back in the day? Like, I mean, because you're Mike, singing, talking. I mean, like, did that kind of an impact on you?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a performer, Evan. I'm all about the show business. Being on the mic is right, but I don't know if there's much correlation in singing and broadcasting other than the fact that, I'm a performer. But
you're a talented man.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't say that about myself, but thank you, Evan.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome, man. And I mean that. I mean that, Ben.
Thanks.
Very talented. Strong in math, too.
Well,
You're also a good dancer. I remember in the 7th grade, like middle school thing, you were on stage just having a good time at lunch in front of everyone, and it was pretty cool to see.
yeah, it was fun. It was a fun
How
time.
about the karaoke we did?
Karaoke?
Me, you, and Gavin.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm all about the show business. I like to show off my talents or lack thereof sometimes, but.
Yeah, it's just very. I can see you being an actor someday, Ben, too.
Yeah. After a long talk on the mound, Brendan Garula will exit and get a standing ovation, much-deserved standing ovation from the fans. He went 4 1/3 with 11 strikeouts. Only gave up 3 hits. 2 hits. One of them was ruled back to an error. So 2 hits and 1 hit by pitch. No earned. Well, we're waiting on the earned run count. See if Michael Murphy can help him get out of that. But Michael Murphy enters now. We'll head to a quick break to let Murphy warm up. Pitching change in the 5th. Welcome back to Princeton High School. Pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th. Michael Murphy enters for the Comets. That's his 2nd straight game coming in relief. He went against Hamilton, gave up no earned runs against the Big Blue. We'll see what he can do against the Vikings. Did a bit of a jam, 1 out, and 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and Murphy's been just very consistent all year. I'd say he's kind of, like we talked about Murphy, he's kind of in between. He doesn't have the velocity that Samuel has or the breaking stuff that Garula has, but he has a perfect mix of both. So he's very balanced with his fastball and his off-speed pitches, and that's what really makes him a great pitcher, is his ability to just kind of mix things up and just kind of confuse the hitters.
And he's facing who's on the mound now for Miamisburg, and Preston Barr. Barr had a rough time finding the strike zone on the mound in the top half of the inning.
He got bailed out a little bit on that liner that turned into a double play.
Yep.
Yeah, because Barr only gave up 1 run, although it seemed like it's interesting. It seemed like the Comets got 4 in the 4th, but it seems like they did a lot more damage in the 5th when they only got 1 run. So.
And Murphy, the first batter he faces, he fans on 3 straight strikes.
Taken after Garula.
That's a huge strikeout. Neutralizes the chance of a sacrifice fly or a scoring on a soft ground ball.
That'll be the order back to the top of Borderline. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So.
Didn't have a very good night against Garula. We'll see what he can do against Murphy. Strike number 1 to him.
What does that say? Don?
1-1 count now. Murphy working on Boardwine. A heater served on the outside corner, doesn't quite catch enough. And it's now 2-1. Just 1 out away from getting out of this inning. It started in a bit of a jam. Check swing, strike number 2. And now it's a strike away. The 2-2. That one's just a bit outside. Murphy liked that pitch, but full count now with 2 outs.
Yeah, I was close in the outside corner, but I think that's the right call. Just broke, almost like a cutter, just going away from the hitter. And good take from Borderline. Trying to load up the bases here with a walk, maybe.
Full count, the payoff. In there, strike number 3. Murphy comes in, faces 2 batters, and fans them both. That's how the Comets get out of the 5th. Comets still lead 5-0 heading into the 6th inning. 2 innings away from heading to the regional semifinals.
Welcome back to Princeton High Schools. The Comets have a 5-0 lead. Good job by Michael Murphy coming in with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, relieving Brendan Garula. So only 2 innings left to go, and hopefully the Comets can move on to the regional semifinals. But first, here's Kevin West, the center fielder. We'll hit a pop-up to the second baseman, Masters, and he's able to haul that one in for out number 1. So
Yeah, West working quick. And that's the first time he made contact tonight. He has 2 strikeouts.
just got a little under that one. And Nick Stroud, who's been a little bit of the unsung hero today for the Comets with 2 singles, one to the right side, one to the left side, just putting the bat on the ball and see if he can do it again here against Barr. And he'll take high. 4-1.
Yeah, Stroud coming into this game like we talked about, the sub 200 batting average, sub 300 on base percentage, but we knew the potential that he had. He's had some pretty good games this year.
Here's the pitch, and that's another strike. And Stroud swings. I mean, Barr can get the ball over the plate. I mean, he's a pretty solid pitcher. And the 1-2. And Stroud and pop up down the third base line. It's going to be caught. A shortstop, I believe. That's Arden Mitchell. And Comets' first 2 hitters down on 2 pop-ups.
Yeah,
Looks
I think
like we got a pinch hitter in. It's going to be Mark Rutherford for the Comets.
Number 8, Mark Rutherford.
we'll be pinch hitting for Garula. And I think that'll be the day for Garula. He came out on the mound and was no DH position, or there was a DH position, so they would have had to put him in the field if he wanted to stay in the lineup.
That's interesting with Rutherford. He had a pretty good freshman year, had a huge double in the regional semifinals last year against Vandalia Butler, but he just hasn't really hit his stride. He hasn't got a ton of at-bats, but really hasn't hit his stride offensively this year. But once he does, we know what number 8 is capable of.
Yeah, he's an Auburn commit. I mean, SEC baseball is unlike anything else.
Except for IU basketball.
Yeah. Well, you might have to ask Jake Hanley or Max Johnson, who's there now, if they should want to try out or walk on to the basketball team. Both of them did play basketball on the varsity team.
You think me or you could?
I don't think so. Maybe they accept us as a manager, but
We could probably both walk onto the wrestling team after that fight we had a couple weeks ago when we were playing spike ball.
I thought we weren't going to tell people about that little scuffle we had.
I mean, I was playing well, and you just weren't producing out there.
Okay.
So I kind of had to play like 1-on-2, hit some crazy shots, and I did. And then Ben is mad that I won't set him, and I set him, he just misses. I mean,
Is that how it went?
yeah, I guess it's kind of like the Tommy Pham, Jock Peterson thing, fighting over fantasy football, something like it's over like an IR spot.
Yeah, Tommy Pham was unhappy that he thought Jock Peterson was
He cheated because he had like
stashing players.
He stashed Jeff Wilson Jr., the running back for the 49ers, on his IR spot.
I don't know why I don't know if you're going to stash players. I don't know why you're stashing Jeff Wilson Jr. But
whoa. What if Jeff Wilson Jr. is listening to this broadcast, man?
well, then I'm
offended.
Then I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson Jr.
Okay. 2-1 now on Rutherford. Or excuse me, that's Krukenberg up to the bat now, up to plate now.
Yeah, Rutherford over there at first. And we mentioned Krukenberg a lot, how he's kind of struggled today, but overall had a pretty good season. He's a guy who can hit different positions, hit second, he's hit fifth some, ground ball to the second baseman, Masters, fires it on over, and to Ambergy, and that will be the end of the inning. So a quick half inning for the Comets, 3 outs on contact, 2 fly outs and a ground out, and we're going to take a quick break, heading into the bottom of the 6th. Comets still lead 5-0. So will be the 2-0 Arden Mitchell, so 2, 3, and 4. Set to come out to the plate against Murphy. And Mitchell struck out and then got hit by a pitch, so he's up for his second plate appearance. So third plate appearance, second at bat, actually.
And we talked about, you look at the top of this Miamisburg lineup, you see a lot of high batting averages. His dips a little, 243, but they're confident in his ability to make contact and confident in his ability to get runners over, which is sometimes all you need from that 2-hole spot.
And I guess get on base with a 385 OBP. I mean,
Yep.
he's good at getting hit by pitches.
Yeah.
Say that.
Got one earlier.
Like Derek Dietrich.
Yeah.
All right, now 1 and 2. The count to Mitchell. On Murphy. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be lined up out of play on the right field side. I wonder if Peary might go get that one, but that might be a little bit too far. I don't know if Peary will want to go that far.
Prof and Peary is not there anymore. I think he was unhappy with the things we said about him, and he took a hike.
And Mitchell lined that one, and he'll get his first hit of the night, as that will be Statzer in left field, who just checked in to the game. Mitchell proving why he deserves a spot. Top of this Vikings order. It's the third hit for the team. And now Blaine Wink up. Looked like he was dealing on the mound earlier in the game, but all of a sudden ran into some trouble after the Comets had a couple bloop singles, nice bunt, and all of a sudden they were up 4-0, and Wink gave up 4 runs. And coming into this game through about 24 innings, he's not giving up a single run. So.
Yeah, one of Garula's greatest kind of accomplishments this game is Wink was 0 for 2 against him, over 400 batting average, and got him to ground out to shortstop and strike out. So not Wink's night, whether it's on the plate or at the plate or on the mound.
Number 4 on the mound, number 4 at the plate, and that pitch is outside, so it's going to be 1-1 now to Wink.
You know, we talk about the versatility and the two-way player, Brendan Garula. Michael Murphy's another one. Was in this Comet rotation in the regular season, but with the way games are scheduled in the playoffs, as there's a single
Yeah,
for Wink.
It's kind of taking a page out of the Comets playbook, just doing what they did early in the game, just making contact. So Wink not trying to do too much there, 2 strikes, just goes the opposite way, and the Vikings will have runners on first and second here. With Williams up, the cleanup hitter. And there's no outs too, so a little bit of pressure here for Murphy, but luckily he's got 5-run lead.
And Comets, I mean, it's 5-0, but they still need to get those 6 more outs.
Yeah. Anything can happen in baseball.
Yep.
And over till it's over. Yogi Berra. Now Williams looks like could be double play, ball to short, to second, to first. Hanley will step on the bag for a double play. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Comets there. Sulik to Stroud to Hanley. Beautiful. Classic 6-4-3 double play.
I'm going to be
Couldn't
honest.
draw it up any better.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know about that play over at first base. I mean, I'll take it as Comets fans, but that looked a little close.
I think he was out. I think that was the right call, and that's huge. I mean, maybe the biggest play of the game, at least defensively for the Comets, just turning a jam and not as much of a jam.
Yeah.
Runner on third.
Murphy's not out of it yet, but 2 outs, there's definitely a lot less pressure.
And she's to focus on his pitches here. Already got 1 strike on the catcher, Ennis. It's gonna
That
be
was a weird
slow
roll.
ground ball. Maybe off the end of the bat. Murphy will spin and fire on the first. An athletic play from an athletic player. Michael Murphy will end the bottom of the 6th. It looked like there might be a little pressure, but Michael Murphy retires the side. Only 1 more inning to go here from Princeton High School. Comets lead 5-0.
Top of the 7th here, Comets going to come to bat one last time before they try to shut it out. 5-0 lead over the Miamisburg Vikings. Just one inning away from playing next week at Midland Baseball Complex in the regional semifinals. And up to bat's going to be Hanley after Krukenberg ended the inning with a ground out to second. We got a 1-1 count. And that one's drilled into right field. That'll be a leadoff single. Comets offense not done yet.
A beautiful swing from Hanley. Just a nice line drive, and again, just solid contact, and Comets trying to get some insurance runs here. And Michael Murphy will see if he can help himself out, trying to make it even easier for him as we assume that he'll come in and close it out in the bottom of the 7th.
And we know he's someone definitely capable of that. He leads his team in RBI. Try to keep Hanley in check over at first base. Nothing there. Delivery to Murphy in there for strike number 1.
And Murphy not happy about that pitch. Thought it was a little low, but
He either thought it was low or he thought it was one that he could have got a hold of. But Murphy not committed to a college yet, only a junior, but has multiple Division I offers.
this Comets team just absolutely loaded with D1 talent, and I mean just commits all around as well.
And he swings on strike number 3, a strikeout on 3 pitches. Murphy sat down for out number 1. Still a runner on first, only 1 out for Alex Kelling.
Now batting number 27.
That's Mikey Statzer now. They subbed him in defensively, and they're going to keep him in at the plate.
His stats are only has 3 at-bats on the year, and he's 0 for 3 with a walk. This will be a pretty good time to get your first hit of the year in the district finals.
Yep. And not a real crucial spot in the district finals either, not a high-pressure situation. Statzer, he said only 3 at-bats, but he got a lot of playing time in the field. They DH'd for him a lot this year. That one was fouled back, and there wasn't a great reaction from a lot of the fans. Hope everyone's okay. The 0-2 to Statzer. Almost got away from Ennis. And 1-2 is low again. The winner of this one gets the winner of Butler and Lebanon. Butler is who knocked out the Comets in the regional semifinals last year, so could very well see that game again. A revenge game for Mason, but Statzer sat down on strikes. That's 2 strikeouts now.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest experiences last year at the Dayton Dragons stadium, but fortunately not the result we wanted. But it was a hard-fought game, pretty close till the end, and I'm sure the Comets would love a rematch. They'd be super motivated coming into the game, and kind of Dayton baseball really runs through Butler. I mean, that's just how it's been the last couple of years. Just a very solid, consistent program, and then maybe if the Comets were to win that, not to jinx anything, but they'd be looking at Moeller in that regional final matchup, and Moeller the 1 seed in the Cincinnati region, and of course the Comets the 2 seed, and That would be one heck of a game if that happens as well.
Yeah, a lot of Division I athletes would be playing in that game, as there was a hit by pitch there. AJ Lefton got hit, and he's going to have a pinch runner now. That's Luke Kirkland, sophomore, pulled up on the varsity squad to run. He played most of the year on JV.
Play some basketball too.
Yep. There's still 2 outs now, but 2 on for Bly. Bly got a huge RBI double earlier in this game. And a look at ball 1. That one catches the corner again for strike 2. Comets have a lot of depth at the catcher position in Bly, Laughlin, and Rutherford, but Rutherford hasn't played much catcher this year at all. They like to put him at third base, a little bit of second base. Laughlin started some games at catcher this year, but they've kind of funneled that position to Bly towards the end of the year. 2-1 count. Check swing, strike number 2.
And that Butler and Lebanon game will start at 5 o'clock, so we don't have any score updates currently. Just getting underway there from Beaver Creek.
The run's going to take off, and that gets over the head of the third baseman. Jake Hanley is going to race home for the 6th run of the night for the Comets, matching their run total from last tournament game against Hamilton. Couple of mistakes on defense for Miamisburg.
And Comets will take it. I mean, it was looking pretty good for them, but now just even easier. And Murphy will even be even more relaxed on the mound, hopefully. I mean, that's just what it's about now, is getting those insurance runs, calming the nerves, and
A 3-2 on Bly, and now Bly is walked. So first and second again for the Comets. Another senior, Kevin West. We'll see what he can do. There are still 2 outs in the inning. There's another pinch runner. That's A.J. Laughlin, a junior for this Comet squad, going to take over at first base.
And West will be looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of swinging strikeouts and a fly ball to second baseman.
As we talk about his defense, and you even said his improvement at the plate, just improvement all around as he gets hit by a pitch. That will load the bases now for Nick Stroud, who Stroud's had quite a night. And now he's going to see ducks on the pond. 2 for 3 tonight with a couple of singles, one of them being an RBI single.
Man, a bar, that's got to hurt for Kevin West. Hopefully he's okay. Just get drilled in the back by a fastball. And we've seen Barr's been pretty inaccurate, but he has the velocity, so that one might sting a little bit.
They're going to head to the bullpen. A new pitcher for Miamisburg. Barr will take a break, and we'll take a break. Coming back here at the top of the 7th, 2 outs. Comets up 6-0. Austin Culbertson back on the mound for the Comets, or on the mound for the Vikings here, facing the Comets. First pitch way outside, facing Stroud.
Yeah, it's interesting. Culbertson listed as a first baseman mainly on the roster. Not a guy who really gets a ton of work, but he only really needs one more out to bring him to the bottom of the seventh.
The bases are loaded, though. All of those runs would be taxed to Barr.
Culbertson's pitched 10 innings this year, 7 strikeouts, 1.36 ERA.
Solid numbers.
Yeah, every one on this Miamisburg team has a very good ERA, but there's some tougher competition playing the Comets, and
It's definitely shown today. Well, the 1-2 count now on Stroud. Bases loaded, check swing. They're going to go down to appeal, and they will say he went. So Comets get one across, and it's a last call for the Miamisburg Vikings. Winner heads to the regional semifinals. Last call for the Miamisburg Vikings here in the district finals. Michael Murphy looks to slam the door. And first, they'll be going up against Ennis. Ennis looks at strike number 1. Ennis behind the plate today.
it's actually going to be Amber.
Oh, that's Ambergy, right. Ennis was grounded the double play, and Ambergy turns on one down the right field line. That's out of play. That looks dangerous at first for the Comets.
That would have been another ball for Protham if he was here.
Yeah, Protham Prairie left, though. Had a couple of plays he could have made.
Unfortunate.
So it's 1-2 now on Ambergy. Another one fouled off. Both of these teams have had terrific seasons. Comets 4 losses, Miamisburg only 3 losses on the year. The 1-2 is high. And the newest PBR Ohio rankings, Mason came in at number 2 in the state, Miamisburg at number 5, and Ambergy lifts that one in the gap. That one gets down. That's one hops off the wall. Ambergy will be in there with a stand-up double to start off the 7th.
How about that? Only hitting 190 on the year, but Ambergy's got a home run, some RBIs. He's got some pop in his bat. Showing it off there. I mean, that almost looked like it almost cleared the fence from our angle. Almost like a ground rule double. But
pretty high feds here
yeah,
at Pritchard.
not an easy park to hit home runs. It's certainly more of a pitcher's park.
That'll bring up Brock Vaughn. Vaughn had a double his last time up after striking out in the second.
Vaughn better against right-handed pitching, so.
That's what we said. He's got a 304 average, but he's batting 7th tonight, but that might have been because of that lefty-lefty matchup with Garula.
Pretty favorable spot for him right now, but Miamisburg's going to need a lot more of the doubles in the gap if they want any chance here, down 6-0 with only 3 outs left to play with.
Vaughn looked to bunt. He's going to pull that one back. Makes it 2-0. There's a strike fired in there, 2-1 now. Murphy came in to relieve Garula in the 5th inning. Garula went 4 1/3. And Murphy has been beautiful ever since. There's strike number 2. A good breaking ball from Murphy. Runner on first now. No outs. Trying to keep the rally going. Vaughn, they're going to need something big. 2-2's low. Runs the count full. The payoff. Swung on and fouled back. Looks like that was headed right back at us. We'll try the full count again. That one rounded right at the second baseman. Throw on to first for out number 1. Runner gets over to third. That's the first out of the inning.
I mean, in a closer game, that'd be a very good productive out, but at this point, it doesn't really matter too much.
It's not what they need, yep.
6-run lead. I mean, fair chance to not get shut out. I mean, if that's what their Vikings are looking for, but sack fly could give them their first run of the game.
There's a pinch hitter now for Miamisburg. It's number 6, Gillespie.
Backup catcher.
He's coming in for Masters. And he swings and misses at 1. One and one now. Murphy 2 outs away from sending the Comets to the regional semifinals. And this one's smacked into right field, but a nice play by Krukenberg to get under it. The throw home, and that was a cannon.
Wow.
They're going to keep Ambergy at third.
Krukenberg showing off the arm there. I mean,
I'm not sure.
That was impressive.
It might have been a substitution over in right field. I think it was Krukenberg actually with the throw home, keeping Ambergy at third, and that's the second out of the inning. And another pinch hitter for Miamisburg.
Yeah, senior getting him his last at bat.
Kenny Mikalauskas.
Kenny Mikalauskas, yeah.
And Mikalauskas is the last hope for Miamisburg.
got 286 average, but only 21 at bats on the year with a couple RBIs to go with that.
That ball's outside. 1-1. Murphy just 2 strikes away. And that one's in there, so there's one of them. 1-2 pitch. Miamisburg down to their last strike. And Bly going out to talk to Murphy. Now what's he telling him now? Only 1 strike away.
I mean, just focus and let's just finish this out and have a fun trip on the bus back to Mason.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all it is.
Where are we eating dinner tonight after this
Yeah.
when we get back to Mason?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
And it's 1-2 now to send Mason to the regional semifinals. Breaking pitch.
Oh,
That's
wow.
just inside. That was
I guess it landed. It might have crossed the plate a little high at the time, but looked
nasty.
to be close to the middle.
Yeah.
On the inside corner.
That evens
Well executed.
the count at 2, and he'll try it again. The 2-2 swung on and missed, and Mason takes this one 6-0. He'll head to the regional semifinals. Terrific work. Combined shutout from Garula and Murphy, and the Comets use a big 4th inning at the plate to take this one.
Well, the Comets won the district finals on this field last year against Little Miami, and they repeat this year against Miamisburg. So the Mason Comets will move on to the regional semifinals to play the winner of 1-seed Vandalia Butler and 11-seed Lebanon.
Thank you for joining in on this one. It's Comets baseball season not over yet from everyone. Savannah Libby's camera operator, Adam Little directing. I'm Ben Haller alongside my partner, Evan Amazon. Thanks for tuning in and have